In Jesus' name we pray. Once again, you're all welcome to this session. And the purpose of this evening is for us to hear from everybody around the concept we are putting out there. Our last engagement was June 26. I'm sure we all have it. Many questions were asked, and we went back to respond to those questions as much as we can. This is why, as part of the transparency of this house, we made sure everybody has a copy. I'm going to ask for two things tonight. You permit me to take water from time to time. And secondly, I'll try and speak very slowly because of my accent. Is that okay? Yes, we have a plan. But the plan does not make sense without your input. If you want to start anything, there has to be a concept, right? You bring the concept, you show the people the concept before it becomes meaningful. And everybody here is distinguished. Everybody here is appreciated. Everybody here is honored. But I would like to especially recognize in our midst Commissioner Tabitha Wheeler. Is she here? Yeah, let's recognize our Commissioner Tabitha. Let's give honor to whom honor is due. And like I said, this is the Winners Christian Church of God, Winners Assembly Christian Church of God. We are in the sanctuary here because it belongs to the church. This same church is the one that takes care of the homeless and the less privileged in the society. I'm going to give some context into who we are, if you guys don't mind, because it's all about reintroduction of who we are to everybody. We have here the founder of this church, Apostle Raphael Adebayo, and his wife, Mrs. Raphael Adebayo. Ladies and gentlemen, beyond presenting a concept of a construction, it's important to know that these individuals came here 21 years ago because God spoke to them on an assignment to take care of the less privileged. It wasn't easy. South Dallas was not the place then. But they came here, ladies and gentlemen, so that we know it's not just about the building, it's about the people. Our church, this church that I joined 14 years ago from the corporate world, changed my life. I left the corporate world to do this. 10 hours a day we're here. We are part of the community. I put it here that it's FUBU too, for us, by us. What's the demographic of our church? It's 95% African Americans that we take care of. And it's 1% African, then the 3% is mixed. So we've been here taking care of our brothers and sisters. There was a communication in the media that somebody said gentrification. I don't want to defend anything yet. That gentrification will not make sense because we are already here. We are part of the community. No other person is doing this but us. And some other person said, a pirated rendering. To the glory of God, the architect that designed this is here to give context to what is out there. And lastly, somebody said, vision by God. That which God is it that doesn't know the landscape of South Dallas? There was a communication I made to a few stakeholders here. At times, when you act out the instruction of God, those who don't have sight, those who don't have insight, may look at you as if you are sounding arrogant. But when God speaks, it will surely happen. So tonight, we just want to let you know that we're here to listen to everybody. We didn't have the opportunity in the last edition. So we have with us the architect that tried the first design here. Architect Seun, where are you? Please come right here. Please, let's give him a round of applause, please. It's as simple as us. We want to hear from you. Please feel free. We're going to devote a lot of time to listen to ourselves tonight. We humbly ask that you give us time. Whatever clarifications you need, we have sufficient people to respond to them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. God bless you. If we look at the agenda that we have, agenda number 2, it says project status overview, brief information. Okay, I'll just give it to Architect Seun to give us a bio of that. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Architect Seun Olatunbosun. I am one of the 2% licensed Black African American in the United States. And I've been doing architectural design for the past 15 years. So I'm here today to give us update on where we are as far as Winners Tour is concerned, and to discuss, to give you update on the status of the project, and then to answer questions that you might have as far as the project is concerned. Like as Pastor Austin already said, we are all here to listen to you, to to have an understanding of what we need to do, and then what we are planning to achieve in this community. So as we stand currently, we are looking into to do a reset of what we are currently doing. We have a design that has been all around the internet, and the people have their comment on what we have already done, but we are here to tell everyone that that is not the final stage of what we have. We have other options that we are currently working on that we would like to display to everyone, so that we can all have a say on what we're trying to do. So we have 4 more options that we're currently working on. We plan to display those in the next meeting that we're going to be having. So this meeting is just to, do a reset, and then kind of talk to you guys to really understand what you need, what we need to do to make this community better, and then what we need to do and how we want to achieve what we want to achieve as far as this project is concerned. The last meeting, according to the last meeting, we have a few questions, and I think those questions have been answered. But if there are more clarification needed in that regard, we can talk about that, and then enlighten each other on what we're trying to do. So I think on the agenda, what we have, let's see. So the summary of the current state of development. As I've stated, currently the project is with the city for zoning, and like I said, we are trying to have a reset to make sure that we incorporate what the community want to see on the project. So we have a preliminary design that we're working on already, but at the same time we want to work on more options and then discuss what we have to do, what we need to do with everyone. Next one, clarification that no formal decision are being made today. Yeah, we're not, like I said, we're not making any decision. We're not making any final decision here today. We just want to dialogue with everyone, get feedback from you guys, and then we go back to the drawing board and then implement your comment on the design. Reset goals and focus moving forward. That's what we are doing now. The next one here, number 3, introduction of the new engagement models. Overview of the reset engagement plan.
Yeah, let me call on Ms. Shanita, please.
Okay, thank you, Pastor Austin. Again, I'm Shanita Cleveland. I am here to engage the community to make sure that your voices are heard. I do know that as of July 30th, upcoming July 30th, we will have the next set of community meetings, the schedule, so that you all will know exactly when and where to go. Okay, also, let's see, you think I can see? Okay, so we will be traveling throughout the district. Okay, so we want to make sure that multiple communities, regardless if they're in the vicinity or not, are engaged. Okay, so I'm just going to keep it short because I do know that we really want to hear from the voices that are here today. Okay, so if you have any questions, my phone number, email is there. I'll be glad to answer any questions or get those questions answered for you. Go ahead, Tabitha. Commissioner, the Honorable Tabitha.
So I think that we might need to get some information out there prior to proceeding. And one of those things is what could be allowed by right today. By right today, this particular property sits in a farm district within PD 595. Who in here doesn't know what PD 595 is? Okay, so my name is Commissioner Tabitha Wheeler-Reagan. I am the zoning commissioner for District 7 of, which includes this property, South Dallas proper, some of Pleasant Grove, Ferguson Road area, and also, what is the other one? Where our council member live at? Buckner Terrace and Joppy. So what I do is I represent our district at any zoning hearing at the city of Dallas. We have 15 commissioners, 14 by district and 1 appointed by our mayor. And so I represent District 7. We've had, I think this project was I was contacted about this project at the end of December of 2023, the beginning of the end of December of 2022, the beginning of last year. At that time, we requested that the applicant meet with the community and have some communication prior to filing this particular paperwork. I'm not for sure if that happened in great multitude, but from the feedback that I've got, this just started wrapping around and getting around. By right, this is in a farm district. PD 595 is the planned district for the South Dallas Fair Park area. And within that PD, there has been some updates. We just finished our area plan. Some of the area plan task force members are here. That PD was created by some of our older members who have worked diligently in the community, Ms. Ragsdale, Hank Lawson, and a few others who worked together to come up with a planned district to put protections in order so that those elements that were negative to our community could go away and we can have a better quality of life. So this particular property is in the farm district. This is a newly formed farm district. It's not really that old. It's a newer piece to our PD, and it's a walkable mixed-use district. And what that means in this walkable mixed-use district, we want to promote live, work, play. We want you to be able to live here, work here, and also be able to shop. We kind of, in South Dallas, this is kind of like downtown South Dallas. By right, that this property could have multifamily. There is a height restriction of 50 feet. And that height restriction, so by right, if the zoning does not go through, that there can be retail and living at the maximum of 50 feet. From an estimate from our current planner, the lead planner at planning and development, that equates to anywhere from 2 to 3 stories. So by right, if we do nothing today, we deny it, or the application is, they say, hey, we don't want to further that, they still can tear down and be able to put that, which is something that we want to promote, that we want to see a mixture of housing and living in our area. From what I've gathered from the applicant, they would like to offset this until October. We have already, the first offset will actually be to the first week in August. But we will fully brief this tomorrow at CPC. So we still will be able to hear public comments, even though that we won't close the public hearing on that particular day. So if there's any questions or concern related to this case, you can always email me at Tabitha.Reagan@Dallas.gov. So if there are any concerns or anything that might be related to me, you can ask those questions on tonight. We wanted to make sure what was going to happen tonight, that whatever the plans was, that you all were able to hear that in full, so that you all can ask those proper questions as we move along with this particular project.
Yeah, before we go into the question and answer, I would like Apostle Raphael, who is the visionary, to just say something, please. Pastor.
Good evening. I thank God for Pastor Austin for the way he opened the meeting, but on the agenda, it's there that I should make the opening remarks. Since I'm here, it is true that this PD 595 allows for 3-story buildings, because we have a couple of 3-story buildings very close to us. And we have on Edgewood, the senior apartment over there. It's about 17-story building, about 13, okay. But what I'm asking, like he said, I was led here by the Lord to come here 21 years ago, and I was very focused to develop people and place. When it comes to what our community is going on around this area, I can tell you for 21 years, this is where I live. This is where I have my business and everything, and I've tried so many things. Brought farmers insurance, medical center that we plant in this place. So today, I know what this city of Dallas is good to us. Every time we have applied for certificate of occupancy to do what we do, they allow us to go through every process to go through the city to get the C of O. We have gone to the city to collapse all the building. We have 4 lots here: 1703, 1705, 1709, and 1715, with the 4 lots. We've been to the city to collapse it to 1 lot. So we did a replatting. We went before this, the zoning commissioner. It was approved that this area now is one address, 1709 MLK. Now, I believe what is good for North Dallas is good for South Dallas. The solution to hunger is food. The solution to poverty is wealth. We need employment, we need job and nice environment for our place. This is the only thing what we have now that belongs to us. We have owned this building for 10 years. The rest part we are tenant. So today, I'm humbly asking us to consider the zoning change to allow us to go higher. I know it's 50 feet, it's okay, but I'm asking everyone here today to please consider that we go up so we can allow a beautiful hotel, because people here, I have many friends, they graduate from this area, they want to come here and watch what is going on in this area, pay their hotel taxes in South Dallas, and have a beautiful place. So, not to go too long, I'm asking this meeting today, please pray about it. Like I said, we are not in a hurry, whether it's approved or not. I'm here to stay. This building is ours. We have business going on here. We continue as far as the Lord permits us. We are not here to force anything on anybody, but we're going to go through the community to explain ourselves why do we need it. What is permitted under the law for the South Dallas area to witness inflow of investment from us. The bank that we are proposing, many of us right here will be board of directors of that bank. It's not yet formed. We're going to charter a bank, and every one of us right here will be part of the board of directors of that bank. Every floor we design, you tell, we're going to meet again. This is just a first level of meetings, zoning change, which if it's not changed, no investor, nobody will listen to us. So today, that is the vision. That is my plea. That is why I come before you, not in any arrogancy, but to know that if not for God, I will not be here for 21 years. If not for God, this property that belongs to somebody else will not be belong now to us here now. Because right now, because it's ours, I have turned this place to shelters several times. When the weather is cold, they sleep here for months. For months in this place. Why? Because we are the owner. If you are not the owner, you can't do that. Okay? You can't do that. When you own something, you can do what is good for your community. That is why the homeless people in Dallas, like I say everywhere, if I run right now to Austin Street and the bridge, I'm very, very popular. Because they know what we have been doing for years. So please, I beg you, we're going to go through the process step by step. Talk to anyone we need to talk to and explain ourselves and find out how can we be part of it. Like I was praying that somebody here today will say, Pastor, we can do it. What do you need? Let's do it together. That's my prayer. And I know you are all here to do good things for our community. So that is my vision and my passion that I live for, and I will live until God calls me home. Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you so much, Pastor Rafa. Very authentic declaration there. Ladies and gentlemen, we're ready for the question and answer. So feel free to ask any questions. We're here to answer them. Who wants to build the cart? Who? Okay. Is it? Thank you.
Well, since I am the blessed one this evening, I'm going to say good evening. My name is Eva Jones. I am the president of the Queen City Neighborhood Association. Pastor, I know you don't recall, but 10 years ago, my husband and I owned a restaurant on the corner of MLK and Edgewood. At that time, I believe this was just a thought. My question to you and your church's ministry is, what ministry do you have that goes out and helps the community? That's one question. The second question is zero taxes, you said. So that's another question. But right now, I'll turn it over and let
Thank
you
you.
answer.
Thank you. The pastor will answer the first question, and I will get somebody else to answer the second question.
Yes, thank you. Right now, in this location, we have MetroCare services. Dallas MetroCare. MetroCare. In this building, they come every Monday between 1 and 4. And these MetroCare services, they serve everybody in the neighborhood. We have one doctor and 2 nurses. And they gave me and my assistant the permission against the HIPAA law that you can talk to the patient what they are going through, and we can discuss with you what they are going through to give them better care. So they come here and they give them free bus passes and their medication the same day. That's one. Number 2, we have Texas Work Commission. They come here every fortnight to make sure people get jobs and train them on their resume. So they come here every fortnight. In fact, people come, a lot of them come, they are not putting appeal together now for those who want to learn cybersecurity, all those things. So they come from the city to interview them so they can get grant, so they can go to school. Then here we do feeding. For the past 21 years, we feed average of 75 people every evening on Tuesdays. Now it's 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If you move down to your right to our event hall, now there are homeless people there right now, seated like kings, and get the message. Pastor Karen is with them. We have van that pick them up. Okay? Now we have association with the bridge and the hospital shelter, and our calling that when they have problem, they call us. Okay? The only thing with us that the member of the church are so generous that many times we don't need to go and apply for grant of $5,000, because we have people that come to us that they provide the funding to make sure we reach out to community. So there's something we do in this small place. And anytime we have inclement weather, before they start in the Fair Park, we turn all our church to shelter. They sleep here, they eat here, and like that. Okay? So, amen.
So basically, thank you. Oh, my goodness. Yes, my question then to you is, basically, the services that you're rendering, are they the same services as, say, Pastor Chris? What it is that Cornerstone is doing? That's my question.
Okay.
What is it that you're doing different?
Okay. Good. Now, this is the difference. Cornerstone and this church, we're partners. We are partners. Cornerstone and this church. Anytime there are food or drinks, they give it to us. The only thing is that this is church. I will not say the only church, whereby both the homeless and the people come and sit down together to hear messages. Okay? So this church is like a homeless church. So every member of our church, they know the only thing you can do to get me angry is to push any homeless out. Okay? We make sure there's a classical case of a lady that was homeless. We find out she doesn't drink, no alcohol, no drinking, but this lady, we find out that she's too slow in walking. By the time we get her to the Parkland Hospital, she has a tumor in her brain. We went through to make sure she gets what? She gets surgery, took care of her. Sister Yolanda is not here. Sister Yolanda, Merlin, they're here. All of them are here. We took care. By the time I got to the Parkland Hospital, they were surprised that how can an homeless person get so much care? Today, the lady is doing very fine. We got her a place in North Dallas. So we have people that listen. So this it's not competition. It's just that Cornerstone and our church, we do things together. Amen. So we do things together. Or we want to do more. We want to do more. That's why we are asking, because this project will be practical. We call it practical Christianity. Okay? That okay now, you go to an environment, you bring a project that is the people can identify with, and we know what's going to bring. Imagine that we have a bank here whereby all of us can be what? All of us right here, we can be part of the board of directors. If that bank blow up, then we are all rich. We are all rich. So these are the programs we are putting in place to make sure we do this thing. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Because we want to make sure we keep this on the zoning aspect of this and what is offered. In this particular project, you all are saying 26 stories. And based off the article that was, the Dallas Morning News article that came out, it was kind of some negative annotations when it's related to Section 8 and low-income housing. And I want to say that in this community, we got a workforce housing issue. And so is any of this project related to workforce housing? Because based off of what the information is given, based off of interviews given by representatives, your representatives, that it doesn't seem, so I keep hearing the words us, but us is workforce housing. Those people who work every single day and right now in the city of Dallas cannot live in the city of Dallas without having some, let's say, food insecurities, housing insecurities. So is any portion of this property related to giving some affordability? Because from what we read, your consultant thought that if this is not a high-rise, a high-price building, that in some kind of way it will be crime-ridden based off of Section 8 and low-income housing, and that's just not the case.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Now, if there's any statement that doesn't seem right on land right, I stand here as the pastor of this church, the founder, and the signer of any note that goes out of this place. I say, I'm sorry on behalf of anybody that make any kind of statement. Our ministry, what we have been doing with homeless people, and this how we love this community. My children, all of us, we live here. I bought my house here. It's not about thinking outside, not thinking within. So if any statement is made, I'm sorry, because I myself, I benefited from food stamp. My daughter said the other time, food stamp, because when I was working here, when I don't have members in the church that can give me tithe and offering to live. So I was qualified for food stamp, and I raised my children on food stamp. My wife right here, because of low income, he wanted to benefit from going to keeping our children and go to school. So all these benefits we enjoy. And now this time we have other plans in our program to make sure that nobody, our vision, if you listen to a message, our vision to end homelessness. How do we do that? We're going to empower them. Now, see the sister talking? So those talking, they are part of this church who were homeless before, But right now, they give to the church, they work for the church, and they're part of the community. They are here, okay? And they are the one that run this church, okay? So, Mr. Tabitha, we have plans to make sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to answer that question. That's a very, very good question. And it is included in our plan to have 10%, what we call 60 to 80 AMI, area median income, for the people living in the community. So that is included in our plan. So we're definitely going to have about 10% for, especially for the condo unit. Yeah, so in one of those questions that we received, one of the questions that we received, that was a response that we stated that in the comment. Yeah, so that's what we're saying. We're trying to do a reset, and that's why we're doing this meeting, to listen to the community. And that's part of what when we receive the comment about that, we respond by giving the goals that we have to have that in plan of what we're trying to do. So we're going to include that in the application.
Thank you very much. Architect Shehu, thanks. So like we started out, we said we don't have any plan without your input. So Commissioner, we have noted that. It's a reset. I want to listen to everybody. But we promise that every question will be answered. You asked something tax related, right? Yes, but that's okay. 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 All right. Some hands have been going on. Okay. Esther.
Hello, everyone. My name is Esther Adebayo. I wanted to ask the architect, could you please explain what the current plan is that you put the current building, like what the floors are and why that was decided? That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
So the building that's in the pamphlet, like the 25-story building, I know it's glass on the outside and that current design, what made you make those design decisions? And also what is going to be, what are the amenities? What is on every floor of the building that you guys are proposing?
Yeah, that was a good question. So we I think on the pamphlet, we have kind of, if you look at it, we have itemized of what is on each levels. And then I think the goal that we're trying to achieve is we're trying to bring something to South Dallas that will be a catalyst for, development in this community. So we're trying to bring something that, is going to be different. We want to make it different here. So we're trying to make sure that we build something that will be unique, and then it will encourage more development. And then if you look at the floor plans that we have, we have we have the underground parking garage, we have the retail space, we have the commercial space, and we have the parking up, and then we have, so it's you know, we have the commercial space is going to include so many spaces, bank, you know, healthcare, so many stuff. So it's going to be like tenant finish out. We're just going to have a partitionable spaces in the space. So then we hope we'll leave it open for people to, you know, to lease, to take advantage of.
Thank you so much, Architect. Does that speak sufficiently to the question? Yeah, I just wanted like an expanded. Yes, I think what she's sick is for you to speak over every floor situation. Is that not what you said? Yeah. Kind of. You can explain that. Okay, all right. Well, anyways, everything is on the screen. For sir, what do you? Lubbock.
Good evening. I'm Lubbock Smith III. I'm Senior Vice President of Vista Bank, and I'm also a resident here in South Dallas and Queen City. Appreciate this opportunity, what you all are doing, but I'm just curious. I have 3 questions. The first one is, since you've been here for 20 years, I think any person will ask the question like, why now? The second one will be, in terms of you all doing this project of this size, is this the first time you all have done this size of a project? And the third one is going to be regarding the funding of this development. What is your structure of the capital stack? Like, how has this project been funded and how it's been developed?
Thank you so very much. You want to respond to that? Well, however, we have many distinguished personalities here. Architect Shewun is part of the design team, and we have part of our advisory, Mr. Okpa. Please, could you speak to a few of those things, please? Thank you, Mr. Okpa. Mr.
Hello,
Okpa is
good
one of our consultants, yes.
Good evening. To the question about financing, we have a structure. We have a structure that is in a capital stack, okay? We start with the equity. So how much equity is in the building, how much equity is owned by the person proposing the project, okay? Assuming the number is $240 million, and the bank said, you as the owner have to come up with 10%. That means you have to show either in the physical cash or asset base $24 million, okay? On that, the bank will now say, okay, what is your revenue stream? Remember, this is a multiple use facility, which we've already proposed. As we speak, based on the concept, we have secured $70 million already. $70 million has been committed and pledged for us. And then when we're applying for the EB-5, the EB-5 is the foreign investment that people who are non-Americans, if they want to become citizens, they apply. Because of this neighborhood and zip code is a high unemployment, the US government granted us that EB-5, okay? And the EB-5 is supposed to be a gap filler. So if we do the underwriting of the project and there's a $20 million gap, we will turn around and try to raise that money with foreign investors who are going to come in and plug in that gap. But we already have local lenders, banks, to meet their CRA, Community Reinvestment Act. A lot of the big banks, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, I say, hey, we'll be interested when you are ready to underwrite. So the funding part of it is not a challenge for us. All we need to do is to say, are we building 25? Are we building 15? Are we building 5? All of that modeling is going to determine what is going to be underwritten. Because the underwriting part of it is when you have been approved the zoning, you now design for what is going to be built, whether it's one use or multiple uses. And then each of the uses has a revenue stream. On our retail space, assuming we get a store, because the site is 30,000 square feet. We are not building the entire 30,000 square feet. It could be a 20,000 square feet floor plate, okay? But if you have a grocery store on a 20,000 square feet, If you use the Comptroller of Public Accounts, and that says every grocery store has to generate a gross revenue of 2,500 square feet. That means that space retail for grocery stores is supposed to produce $50 million a year in sales. That's how Walmart, Kroger, they calculate that space. Assuming we're able to achieve that, let's even do $40 million, and you attach 8.25 as taxes that go to that. What are you talking about? You're talking about $14–15 million in sales that comes into that particular zip code before it goes to the census tract. And that's what people look at and say, you have disposable income. So all of that is going to be quantified differently in order to give any lender to underwrite. Assuming we do the condos, we are not underwriting it. The people that are going to own the condos are going to get their own mortgage. The hotel space, we're not doing it. All we're doing is providing them a block of floors for them to come in and they be paying. So that's how this is calculated. We don't have any fears funding the project. We just wanted to see an approval that allow us to do something that no black person has ever done in South Dallas. Nobody has ever, in my 38 years living in Dallas, no black enterprise has ever put any project more than whatever millions. We want to change the narrative. We want to encourage the narrative. We want to say we did this. Okay? We want to say we did it. There's no 3-star hotel. We already have a hotel brand owned by us. When I mean us, black people. That one of the hotel corporations, Sheraton, Hilton, is wanting to buy in order to put it on this building, be the first one. So I'm available for any questions. If you want to talk about numbers, if you want to talk about revenue, that's what I do. I'm an appraiser. You know, at the end of the day, when you build anything, the bank is going to say, what is it worth? And if somebody like me doesn't do that number, they're not going to fund it.
Thank you. Yeah, so can I have it? Are you okay with the response? Lobok, are you okay? Thank you. Sir?
My name is Brian Wesley. Brian Wesley, representing St. Anthony's School, the charter school right there on Myrtle and Metropolitan. Question, this is going to be done regardless, right? But well, not regardless, but 5 years, let me ask this question. If you only get 5 stories, if you get 12 stories, you get 15 stories, do you have if the city just clears 5 stories, do you have a plan for 5 stories if they just clear you 10, or do you're going to put multiple 5? Is there a backup plan if you don't get your 13 stories?
Thank you very much. Mr. Okpa, please go. Please give it to him.
Again, this is a community. It's a private project, but we're asking the community for support. Okay, back to your question. If it's 10 stories, we go back and do our numbers on 10 stories. If it's 5 stories, we go and do our numbers. Okay, the reason for the high rise is density. Okay, to accommodate a mixed use. We are even planning to have a television media like Telemundo that has the Hispanic market broadcast. We planning to have one. We've already had an agreement with a major media house that will occupy an entire floor that will do broadcast, TV, radio, podcast. And for some of our students that go to some of the area schools, that's an internship for them. I have a friend who is a doctor and a scientist. We are bringing in a prostate cancer testing center in this building on a floor, employing 30 people, making $75,000. Okay? So these are some of the things we have worked on because of relationships, but we can't do it if the community is opposed to it. And
Thank
that's
you.
why we say we want to talk about benefits. When you do public project, for those of us who do this, it's called cost-benefit analysis. When we do private project, because you got to pay back the debt, you got to do ROI, return on investment. For instance, If we do this at a $200 million project, at a tax rate of 2.7 for every $100 of assessed value, how much money is that? We'll be paying on a single location in taxes about $7-8 million a year. If you add up all the taxes paid on this corridor, it doesn't come to that number. Just one project contributing $7-8 million inside that. That's where you talk about PID. You know what the PID is? Public Improvement District, because at that time you can ask the city to reinvest the money you are generating in taxes to improve streetscape, lighting, and even, you know, if we do this building, we're going to improve the utility line, the sewer line and the water line. Because as it is now, the pressure on the sewer line and the utility line is not going to be enough to support the use. So we're going to change all the lines around the building, which will enable other property owners to tie into it and improve the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Okpa. Appreciate you, sir. Sir, you raised your hand? Yeah, the lady at the back, please, on the left here. Thank you. You. Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Teresa. This is my first time coming to the meeting, so I'm kind of getting a crash course. I live in Queen City, and I'm just trying to ask, where is the church going to be located? If is this the space where everything is going to take place? So where is the beacon going to be of the community, which is the church? I'm a PK kid. Where is the church going to be? And by all of the things that this church has wonderfully been doing for the community, you mentioned the things for the homelessness, the medical facility, and all of those things are like the thread of what community does, and also what the beacon, which is of the community, one of them is the church. So where is the church going to go? And with the monies that the bank gave you and everything, was it ever any research done about what is needed in the community? We don't have a grocery store. We don't have, we've been blessed to have like the Cedar places that's where we can get fresh fruit and stuff like that. But we've been dealing with Fiesta forever. We don't have a Whole Foods. We don't have, you know, thank God.
I like that.
Thank God. So it's not about, I'm asking, what is that going to do for the community? Because the community will still be starving for the things that we need. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
spend your money how you want to, and that's great. This is a great idea. It's kind of big, and but my thing is this: is that if this is the space, God's house, and y'all gonna build here, where's the church gonna be?
Okay, we're going to respond to that because that falls within the purview of the pastor. Pastor Rafa, please.
Okay, you talk, okay? Now, the first obstacle we are facing now is to get the zoning passed. There are so many facilities in South Dallas, and there are enough land in South Dallas where we can go and buy the land and build, or rent space in South Dallas and rent to come to our church. When the church is finished, one of the floor of the church, we are promoting Dr. Martin Luther King. On the top of the building, Winners Tower at MLK. MLK was a pastor like myself, okay? So, and without church, I will not be talking here today. It was God, okay? So church and ministry is number one in our heart, okay? But for this meeting, there's enough spaces in South Dallas. Many buildings are there that they are not yet rented. That when the construction is going on, we go there and rent and use it. We have other people who are talking to us around this area, already talking about as they are breaking this ground, because we still have 2 years down the line before we do anything. Okay? But if the community say no to us, that don't want this investment, okay, what do we do? What is it? No, I'm not living here. I'm part of this community. I've been here for 21 years. My children are born here. I'm not going any place. Okay? Okay? So we're going to talk it through. So I'm not living to any place. Okay? Okay? So that one is settled. Okay? So that one is settled. I'm not leaving, and nobody have a right to make me to leave. This is my place. This is my community, and I know let me say this one. Let me say this one. They said, Pastor, have you lost your mind? When we are buying this building, that was the same time Erica Badu was trying to buy that building. The bankers said they are not going to finance us. They said, what are you doing? We can't give you money to do anything in this area. What are you going to get people to come? And the same is now. That's why you have many vacant lands all around us. That's the reason why. The Americans want to come now. They are afraid that if we invest here, what's going to happen? It's not time to tell you a story about what investors have gone through, bringing money to South Dallas. So the point is that this place, we are going to work with the community banks up to now. In fact, we work with this community very well. They love what we do. Anytime we have a need, they come. But this is outside the plan, PD 595. We respect that. And that is why we're going to go through many committee meetings. We want to see people and discuss and apply to the government and sit down and see what is feasible. Right now, the next two-story building there, we have the pharmacy is there. We have a clinic. It's fully rented next door. Go and look at it and see what has been done. Someone will say, what have you done before? It is fully developed. And we have people who work here and do their business, first-class business. Next building, we can go and check it out. Okay? So the point is that we are going to work with the banks in this place. The Chase Bank, the Bank of America, has been here for too long. Okay? They must work with us on their CRA. Chase has been in our community. They must work. Why do we have all the cash checking places everywhere? We deserve better. Some of us are not going anywhere. We are not going anywhere. We are here, and I tell my children, this is a place where God sent you. Don't go. Stay here. When I bought my house in Oak Cliff, they said, Pastor, you lost your mind. I didn't lose my mind. I love this place, and this is where I'm going to live. Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. The last speaker, which is the reason why we're here, just a minute, ma'am. Which is the reason why we're here. You said categorically that we need healthy food stores. We need to eat well in South Dallas. And the feedback is going to be incorporated into our next plan, which is really why we're here. Even though we have outlined 1 or 2 grocery stores, so your feedback will help us to have a robust outing. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah, the lady out there is next.
First, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life.
Amen.
I sit on this same board with Bishop T.D. Jakes, and they said what we couldn't do. Yes, I sat right beside him. They kept saying what we couldn't do. Pastor, I'm praying for you. No devil in hell gonna stop this. I'm an intercessor. I prayed for Bishop. I was on the team when they were saying no to us. I was one on the team praying for him. We're going to get this done regardless if they say no. Because we know who's the head, who has the last soul. Jesus got the last soul, said so.
Thank you. Thank you
I'm
so
a
much.
child of God, and I believe that, Pastor. It's going to get done.
Thank you.
Keep praying.
Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, this gentleman has been hanging for a while. Yeah. Please go ahead, sir.
Giving all praises to God, I have several questions, but I'm going to only ask a few for now. Have you considered the neighbors and the household people that lives in this area prior to your distribution in the newspaper and So when was the first time have you came up with this idea? Okay, that's one of the questions. With a 25-story building, you're going to overlook private properties. Have you considered, or have you looked at here recently, within the last year, the traffic conditions that we've gotten with the SM Wright project? Now, this is going to bring in additional traffic. This is going to bring in people that didn't live in this community. How many rooms will this building have, or how many, you know, in your 25 floors, how many rooms? What dollar amount are these rooms going to be costing? Because a lot of people that's in this neighborhood, we can't afford. You know, we can't afford. Have you noticed, and do you remember, since you've been in this community 20 years as a church, do you remember the motel over on Pennsylvania and Colonial? Do you remember, or do you know about all of the sexual activities came out of /Colonial Elementary /MLK now, what is it, MLK Arts Center now, I believe it is, or something similar. Do you realize all of the young folk that's going to be traveling through here and the potential that that has as far as calling them into your facility by unwanted people? Like the lady said back here, we need some things that's, you know, we need some better grocery stores and some other stuff, you know, rather than a big 25-floor hotel or something. Have you noticed the one right next door? Eventually, how are you going to maintain this? What's the security going to look like? You know, those are just some of the things that's running through my mind, because I'm not even familiar totally with your church. And I've lived in this community 60 years. I've never seen you down in my part of the area. I've never witnessed that. Yes, I'm visually impaired, but people read to me, and my neighbors, they talk, and we haven't seen any activity in our community. So I just wondered how you figure this is going to help this Colonial Hill community. How's this hotel going to help us, not benefit somebody else's pocket? How's it going to help this community as a whole, the Queen City and the Colonial Hill? How are we going to benefit? Because it looks like this particular area was zoned light retail, single-family dwelling, and multifamily dwelling in this area. Now, I know up here you got some commercial stuff, but how is this going to benefit the community? That's my main question. How is it going to benefit us? What are we going to get out of it?
Thank you very much. That's a very loaded, loaded question, and we have a lot of chains there. Part of the chain, Pastor, you want to speak to one or two, please? Thank you.
You say, how long have we been planning this? It's been a long time. As long as we have been in this community. And what you have seen now is not one-day job, it's gradual development. And now regarding the grocery store, we said on the first floor of that building, we're having a grocery store and a bank. This bank is meant to solve some problem, not just because we want to do it, okay? And the grocery store, there'll be a grocery store, there'll be healthy food, okay? And now, even in our, like I said, the first level is just to pass the zoning. All those will be discussed, but we're going to have a grocery store that people will come. Number two, the hotel is 150 rooms. I know about Colonial House Motel. I know when it was closed down, and I know what our church faces. At that time, old people don't come out of their house because of so much criminal activity that's going on. So we thank God because Colonial House Motel was closed down because of so much criminal that was going on there. This place where you are was the biggest nightclub we have, Casablanca nightclub. This same place where we are, it's a nightclub, okay? Now, this place promotes so much criminality that it's just affecting everybody. Then, next door, we have a Stepmaid. When we move from that place, Stepmaid has been there for a long time before we come. So everybody that wants methadone, they come from everywhere to get their methadone. But this, I'm not saying methadone is bad. But what happens is that when they come at 4:30 in the morning to get their methadone, they don't leave until next morning. So we now have a lot of people, they come from everywhere to this community, and they let small business live. We have a driving school on the second floor of next building. The lady has to leave because of what is going on in the area. So that's why many of the business around this, that's why many of the business were closed down. Okay? So the hotel is going to allow people we do a survey. There are many people that were born here. They come to do church events. They come to Fair Park. But nobody, even our church, we invite guest ministers. Nobody stay in South Dallas. They go either to downtown or go elsewhere. So all the taxes that they need to pay to benefit this area is not paid like that. So the hotel that's coming here is not a motel. It's a motel, minimum of 3-star hotel that will be here. And we say, the only thing that I'm saying that to other people, it may not make sense to do this kind of huge investment here. But because, I repeat again, we are sent here by God. And we know any investment, it may take time, is going to bring profit to the neighborhood. So the neighborhood will get benefit. Then the bank we are talking about, the bank we are setting up, we are chartering from Texas. Everyone here, all of us here that are interested, we're part of the owners of the bank. Nothing secret about all these things. You charter a bank, if you have majority Spanish, it's a Spanish bank. If you have majority Chinese bank, it's Chinese bank. If you have majority people of my own color and the board of directors, then that's their bank. We know what's going on everywhere in parts of Dallas, what's going on different parts of Dallas, where you see Hispanics. I'm not being racist. I'm just saying that we are just thinking out of the box to make sure we do a project that we can do together to lift up our community. And that is it. So this is going to be a nuisance. It's going to be the same way this place you are now is not a nuisance. We were committed to make sure we do everything possible to make sure this place is good. Anything we do right here now, we go to city to apply for C of O. They look at it, they grant it to us to make sure we don't do anything on the back door. So this one too is very important. That is why we're having this meeting. So sir, you may not know me, but everyone that have homeless community all around, they know we are the same for what we do. Okay? Because this is one place that the homeless people are very comfortable to come, have their dinners 3 days a week. When they want to sleep, they sleep here. During winter, they come here and they stay there. So thank you so much.
Much, Pastor. I know it was a loaded question. Do you want to respond to one or two?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you for asking the question. I just want to reiterate that the building is not a hotel building. It's a mixed use, and we have a varieties in there. We have a grocery store, bank, retail space, a lot of stuff in there. So hotel and condo is just part of the building because it's a mixed use. And then we definitely going to work with the city to do the traffic study as one of your concern. The main goal for us being here today is to get all this information and be able to work with the community, their concerns, to put it into what we are trying to do. So we take note of that. Thank you.
Thanks, Akadasho. As like you said, you guys will notice that we try as much as we can to respond to every question that's asked us. Like the pieces of paper that you have, they were a response to what happened at the June 26th meeting. And we're going to carry the same thing and work with whatever your opinions are. And there's a gentleman. Yes, sir. Please.
I want to ask you said this is a 25-story building, and it's
proposed.
It's going to be a hotel, grocery stores, bank, condominiums, and a radio and TV station and all of that. So, how many floors will be used for the hotel accommodations, and how many will be used for the condominium? And I was wondering how many, that would be for the other things like the grocery store, the bank, and all of that.
Thank you, sir. Just make sure he has one of those brochures with him. But you are going to speak to that.
Yeah, so at the moment, we are at the programming stage. So things can change, but we have about, for the condominium, we have about 6 floors for the condominiums. And then for the hotel, we have about 6 floors as well. But like we said, this is not a final design. We're trying to work with everyone, get their concerns, and then there will be multiple designs that we're going to be displaying in the next community meeting to share with everyone to look at what we're trying to do. So we don't have a fixed number of floors for each of these condominium or hotel that you're asking. But based on what we are planning now, we're looking at 6, 7 floors for each of those.
Thank you so very kindly. My name is Diane Ragsdale, and I have spoken to several people, many people to be quite frank with you, some of whom have called me and have clearly indicated that they do not support this project. And that's what this is supposed to be, a listening session. We, first of all, PD 595 allows for 3 stories and 3 stories only. Secondly, the staff recommends, the City Plan Commission, the city planning staff has recommended 5 stories maximum. And so, and that's something that, in my opinion, that we need to discuss if that's an appropriate height. Of course, I am one who supports the 3 stories. And because, like the young lady asked, that's the #1 question. How does this entity, how does this project, first and foremost, benefit people who live here? And at this present time, there's no indication of that whatsoever on a permanent basis. The other thing, too, is that we did ask for the site plan last time. We did ask for the layout in general, but I see that we don't have that here. And I see where it states that you would have it maybe be available and will be shared publicly in the next community meeting. Normally, when you submit an application, you have a site plan that we can see. Put it up on that video, a site plan with the layout, with whatever the zoning, et cetera, with the design of the building, et cetera. And so this right here does not indicate to us a site plan, which I think is extremely important. But just let me just say this, more important than anything else. The 25 stories, that is meant for people who don't live here. That is a facility that will open up and cause massive displacement. We should not be naive about this. This is not about us. This is not about us who live in this community. This is about somebody else who they're attempting to bring into the community and who that potentially can move us out of this community. And so therefore we just need to stand up and be very clear with this young man. And you know, it's okay to have all these ongoing meetings, but it's not useful for you. It's not productive. And so to that end, I'm recommending that we stay at 3 stories. Now, I do know that the city staff recommended 5. But lastly, what I want to say before I release the mic, as I go to my seat, I want to indicate that if indeed you continue on, you know, with the process, and because I don't want to be, you know, disrespectful to you. You're wasting your money. You're wasting your money, particularly you, because I know you releasing, paying a number of people to do a number of things, and you're wasting your money. Let's get to something that can be workable for this community. Let's get to something that can be workable. Let's get something that can be workable for this given community. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. That was clear. We heard you. We keep hearing everybody here. Thank you so much. Please, there's somebody with a green Jeep and a gray Honda, please. Could you repark your car? A green Jeep and a whatever. So we thank you for that candid opinion. Sir, please. Yes, yeah. They're going to give you a mic, yeah.
Hi. My name is Russell Kane. I'm a local homeowner. Like, I literally walked here, so I'm going to be your neighbor. So just for a moment, let's say you get the zoning you're looking for, and you're able to go through with this project as you have outlined in the material you gave us. Just out of curiosity, what's the market price of these, like, for example, the condos that you're projecting to put in? You mentioned they'd range in size from 600 to 1,500 square feet. What's the market price you're going to be selling these condos for? Also, with regards to, you've talked about the retail space you're going to include. What's the per square foot price you're going to charge as far as leasing that rental space for commercial businesses? The reason I want specific answers for those 2 questions is that tells us a lot about what kind of future residents you're going to be moving into this community. Because if you're selling, say, for example, a 600 square foot studio apartment for a bargain price of $800,000, and the only businesses that can afford the retail space is Tesla and Cartier, that's not serving the local communities. That's why I want to have specific numbers on what is the price range of these condos you're going to be selling, the ones at market price, and the cost of the retail space to lease out per square foot, and how does that compare to the square foot rental rates of this area?
Thank you. Let me get my advisor, please. Okay, yeah, I'm told that we can just compress the questions together after this session. Please, Mr. Okpa, could you respond to that, sir? Thank you. Everything you said is noted. Thank you.
Sir, okay, when you do commercial space for a grocery store, okay, it could be $20 a square foot or $40 a square foot. When you do a commercial retail space in Dallas, in South Dallas, you can't get anything that is less than $20 a square foot. It could be net, or it could be gross rent. Okay? You're talking about brand new space. So if we're going to get the grocery store that will cater to healthy food, okay, they're going to ask for specific quality of the building. Okay, we're not going to be charging $80 a square foot. That's not going to happen. There's no grocery store in Dallas that is paying you $80 a square foot. Okay, I'm an appraiser. I can tell you what goes on in every zip code. But we're looking at something that will be affordable because we are going to subsidize. Okay, I'm going to subsidize that to make it attractive to come for them to come in. They will sign a long-term lease, and based on what they said, if we achieve this sales volume for 1 year or 2 years, we're going to extend our lease. So you're going to have to give them what we call lost lead for them to come in. On the condos, we're not giving you 600 square feet. You can't even put one bed in there. So if it's an apartment, assuming we do an apartment, it's going to be 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms. The condos, if you look at some of the houses that are being built in this zip code, some of them are selling at $200 and $300 a square foot. Are you getting 1,500 square feet, townhouses, okay, in this neighborhood? Some of them are going for $450. So for the condos, okay, if we do, I say, a minimum of 1,500 square feet, and you're selling them at 300 or 200, it's $300,000. Okay? If you go downtown, you're talking about big money. But all of those things, we are taking into consideration, again, the neighborhood. But remember, this is one of those things, if you build it, they come. They are African American. There are people like us that can afford it to live in whatever that is nice. We're not displacing anybody. It's going to be market rate. And then we're also going to give consideration for what they call the AMI, average median income in that particular zip code. All of those things are going to be underwritten by the lender. Because some of these lenders want to do what? Do something in a zip code like this to say, hey, we are invested. So we're not doing this to run anybody off. We're not doing this thing to scare anybody. The market rate, the rates that we're hoping to charge in order to pay the debt. Remember, it could be 5 stories, like you said, it could be, I don't know. Whatever the community decides, we go back to our drawing board. And we're going to underwrite the project based on that. Okay, whether it's 5 stories, 7 story, 10 story. Okay, so right now, concept. Every developer starts with a concept. Until they go to planning, and planning says shrink it, widen it, go down, go up. We haven't gotten to that stage. We say, give us a zoning that allows us to expand the highest and best use potential on this site. We have enough land to do it. We're not going to buy anybody out. I mean, you're talking about nuisance. I don't want to call anybody's property nuisance, but next door between this building and Cornerstone, do you like what is there? No, do you like the use that is between Cornerstone and this building? Huh? No. I don't even know whether it's a motel or hotel, because it's a rooming, you could pay for an hour, get in and get out. So my point is, yeah. It's not a hotel, it's not a motel. It's, check in, check out. 30 minutes, whatever they charge you, you pay, you get out. So my point is, we want to do something that the community will be proud of. The community will say, hey, we did this. And that's why we are encouraging the conversation. We're not here to dictate. We're not here to force that down on anybody. We are here to say, hey, what can we work with you, say, hey, we're part of that decision-making process, okay? We're part of it. At the end of the day, the community ends signing on the mortgage. Remember? He's going to sign on the mortgage. He's going to be held accountable. When that mortgage payment is due in a month, he better be paying it from the revenue that are being produced. But always remember, if we do this project at $100 million, and we set aside 40% for minority contracting, that's $40 million. City of Dallas, all of us jump up and down. You go look at the contracting value that black contractors or Hispanic contractors get annually. They don't get $40 million a year. So we want to do something that encourages our own capacity to build a building. Electrician, plumber, security people, all these other things are going to be opportunities we are going to extend. If you've never done a building, you wouldn't know. If you've never done a building, you wouldn't know. But when you do it, remember there are subcontractors you're going to recruit to help you build it. So we're encouraging you to help us address the concern so that we can come back and do something that we're proud of. We are not tied to 25-story Diana. We're not tied to it, but if we can, it'll be nice. Whatever the city and your community decided to say, hey, this is what we can live with, it's a negotiating tool. You negotiate. I want this, you want that. Where do we meet each other in the middle? That's how things are done. But you're not going to be disappointed, Diane. You're not going to be disappointed. I can give you my word for it. Thank you.
Okwa, thank you so much. Yeah.
For me? Hold on a second. We don't need to buy it. No, we don't. But I'm saying, is that the type of use you want to see on Martin Luther King Boulevard? We don't have to buy it. We have enough space, 30,000 square feet.
Thanks, Mr. Okwa. Thank you so much. I would like the pastor to chime in a bit, quick.
Ms. Dan says, one statement I have to make. The community needs jobs. Jobs. Pastor Chris Simmons is here. Those who are pastor in this place, that the pastor in this place will know that we need jobs for our people. My children, they are now getting out of college now. They need to find a good job to do in South Dallas. So the community, this project will provide jobs for people. Either they work in the grocery store, they work in the bank, or they work in the media in the media room. Okay? So job. This project will bring jobs. Amen? And will create a place where people can come and live safely. Amen.
Thank you. Yeah, so right now, thank you so much, Apostle. Okay, because we want to be very, very effective with timing, we'll take a cluster of 3 questions, then whoever is going to respond to that. Please go ahead, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Josue Contreras. I'm with Watermark CDC. My question, and also sort of a recommendation, would be, are your investors, or private investors that you're having come and invest into this project, would they be open to investing in the current businesses that are in the community currently? There's a lot of many small businesses that unfortunately have to move out of South Dallas in order to be able to make profits, even though they're from the neighborhood. So that's just a suggestion and a question that could potentially see if your investors would be open to. I see the vision of the 25-story building. I mean, there's really a lot of, I understand there's a need for jobs, and it's true. There's a lot of need for that. But I think instead of building up, I don't think this is one solution that'll fit everything in South Dallas. There is a solution that could potentially invest in the current businesses that are here to create jobs with these businesses that are in the area. And this is this is like a 2 to 5 year project and investment. You can use mediators such as the current nonprofits or even the churches that are in the area now to select those businesses that are currently being developed through those business accelerator programs. And also, my other question would be, as your investors are coming in, have you been contacted through other entities and whether it's banks or other investors? Because let's say, hypothetically, if a project does get approved, you get a rezoning, typically it always follows, more investment follows that into the same area. So if this gets approved, other investors would want to do similar things into the neighborhood. So this is probably the pushback that you're going to receive from the community, because if we allow you in, everyone else is going to want to come in even more. So I can see some more stipulation. I can go on and on about that. But my question would be, would your investors be open to investing through, you can use avenues through other nonprofits or even small businesses to invest in the community as you try to revitalize that? And why hasn't it been considered first instead of trying to build the building itself?
Very good question. We actually discussed, as part of our investment cocktail, the EB5 program, which falls into that financing bridge. But let me just bring the advisor to come and respond to that. We need to respond to that quick. Very quickly, please.
The EB5, do you know what EB5 is? Okay, the EB5, if I were to do EB5 in Plano, the government will require $1.5 million. But I'm doing it in South Dallas. It's $800,000, okay? And out of that, you are expected to create 5 to 7 jobs out of that money. So what is gonna happen here is, because of the vehicle we have, I don't know if you were here when I talked about, we are the only ones that were given the state of Texas. EB5 usually gives you no more than 3 locations. But because of the economic impact and benefit, doing it in a high unemployment neighborhood, they say you can do this all over Texas. So if you have businesses, nonprofit or whatever, there are people, like I talked to Dr. Flowers, he can franchise that school. There are people that want to invest in a school like what he has in order to become American citizens. But you have to have the vehicle. It costs about $100 and something thousand out of his pocket to get that done. So we are not doing this just for this project. We can do it anywhere in Dallas, in Texas. If a group of investors or users say, hey, I need access to money, the most important thing is access to capital. And what are the terms and conditions of those capital? If I lend you money at 20% and somebody's lending you money at 5%, who's doing you a favor? The 5% guy. And that's what we are looking for. And that's why we have been able to attract the cheap money. I don't want to use the word cheap. Inexpensive. Inexpensive capital is what creates wealth. You can never be wealthy if you don't have debt and equity. The debt part is what makes your money have the elasticity. You know what elasticity, like a rubber band, expands that. So we are cognizant of the need in the neighborhood, and that's why we created a structure and a vehicle to help us get money both domestically and internationally.
Sir? Pastor, do you want to say something quick? Yeah. Somebody, actually, he wants to respond to
I just want to say a few words about your question before we go. I think you asked a question about the benefit of the project to the community. If you look at the responses that was given to you, number 17, I think that question has been answered because you said that. What's that? Because you said that we've been talking since and nobody talks about the benefit to the community. If you look at the pamphlet there that they're giving to you, the benefit is highlighted there. I think that answers your question. And then the other question about the drawings, I'm the architect. I did the design that you're holding in your hand. So I have the design, the drawings for that project. So like I said, this is just the preliminary. We're not, stick to that design. We're looking at other options. So we have the plans, we have everything as far as the design for the project. So you're welcome.
Anthony Council with, sorry? Okay. Anthony Council with Texas Metro News. Sorry? Okay, cool. Anthony Council with Texas Metro News. I'm just wondering, closer? Man, hello, testing. Can everybody hear me? Cool? Okay, cool. Awesome, great. Okay, so Anthony Council with TMN. I want to kind of speak to the community, and I just want to ask the question very bluntly. A lot of people here don't like just don't like it, right? And I'm just getting a sense of that, right? So what do you think that South Dallas will look like if this is built? And what do you think the community will look like? Because at the end of the day, you have to make sure you're impacting the community, right? So going to where the community is, what they're saying, listening to them and such. So what do you think South Dallas, the community, is going to look like if this is built?
Hi, Nicole Raphael, St. Phillips. Procedurally, I wanted to understand, I feel a little bit, thank you for the vision, thank you for what you're doing in the community, in ministry. I want to understand procedurally what's happening next. So tomorrow is the public hearing for considering this project from a zoning perspective at whatever the letters are, 5. And so my understanding is that it is 5, the staff's recommendation is for 5 stories. So should the group, the governing body, decide to move this forward with 5 levels, and should it make it all the way to city council and they say, hey, great, 5 levels, I think I'm not clear about what the plan is, because I heard a lot of things. I heard 6 floors for this, 5 floors for that, 6 floors for that. I've heard 25 stories, and then, but it just depends, it's a lot of negotiation. And so what is the vision for 5 floors? Should 5 floors move forward? Should nothing move forward? What's the vision for 3 floors?
Thank you very much. Regarding the CPC for tomorrow, as it were, we are actually going to be making a case to move it further down the road so that we can hear sufficiently from the community. Every step of the way, we listen to what you tell us. So we're not going to rush to CPC. I'm clear about that. Every feedback is important to us. All right? Then we'll go back to the drawing board, all right? And we'll come back. But the pastor can quickly chime in if you want to.
Miss, your name? Nicole. Thank you so much. Okay? Yes, I understand that there's a waiver for 5 floors. Okay? But now, tomorrow, we're going to be at the city to ask for permission to go up more than 5 floors. Okay? So that one, and we're going to ask the commissioner to give us more time, because we find that we need to make more time to talk to the community so that we can see how this thing can benefit everyone. So tomorrow, there will not be any vote on yes or no. We know we can go 5 floors. But what we want that will make the investment, what we plan to do, much viable, is to go more than 5 floors. So we're going to go ahead and still make our request to make sure that at least will come on the middle way. We may not get 25 floors, but I don't think 5 floors might not be what we want for this place to be for. So that's where we are right now. So we're going to go ahead and look and look and look. But if it's good at, so we're going to press on to see that we get exemption to go much more higher. Because we believe it will bring much more blessings to the area.
Thank you very much, Pastor. Yeah, there's a question with the gentleman there.
My name is Pete Goodwin, and I'm CEO of Circle GX. And we are doing broadband. And we've been trying to find a way to close the digital divide in Dallas. Some 200,000 households in this sector have not had broadband in their homes. And when I look at some of the things that we've tried to do, United Nations is providing money for sustainable development goals. In this area, you know, I came here in 1995, and State Highway 121, it was a 2-lane road. And now when you look around, it's got all of these buildings. It's got all of this huge investment. And when I drive to this part of town, it still looks the same. There's a certain amount of this project that I think is pretty good. When I went and talked to banks that were giving loans, one of the things they said to me was that, look, and until you get your commercial infrastructure and businesses to move into the community, you're not going to get investments for housing. Now this comes from one of the major banks that will take any type of real estate deal, was willing to give me a loan to do a deal. But I think that if you can work things out with the community, if you can get a coalition of investment, right? Because no big dollars are coming here except for the purpose that Diane was mentioning. That's what everybody's afraid of. It's a gentrification all across the country. And unless you really outline how this is not gentrification, and you tie into ecosystem type thinking, where there's some give back to this community to build this community, it's going to be very hard. Because what people are thinking is that, hey, you're going to come in here and build this thing, it's going to be a part of the gentrification that's on the move right now, and that's the challenge. But if you can somehow work with others that are trying to make investment, and I would propose to you maybe a coalition. I know Ken Carter, he could help with that. And certainly put together a coalition of investment where we put our hands. We have committed investment to this community. Major corporations who have made investments in this. We would probably lease some of the places from you if we had to. We want to see grocery stores. You know, my family has a ranch about 30 miles south of here with 59 acres. We want to do vegetables. We want to do food security. So I think that I like the idea of what you're trying to do. I think you need to connect with the community and make sure they understand that this is not a part of gentrification. And once we understand that, and once we understand it's for the community, and we show and sell, you know, and show the people how it's for the community and how it benefits the community, I think you have no problem of getting this building. I'd like to see a tall building on this side. Matter of fact, I'd like to see this side of this city look like 121 up there in Frisco. Because when I first came here, like I said, 2-lane highway is what it was. It was all farmland. The billions and zillions of dollars that have been invested up there recently, and the housing. You know, first they started with the buildings, then the housing came, and it's not stopped. So we have to start a revolution here of investment, where we can get it from. They're probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. I would not. I mean, when I went to the Frisco City office, and well, I agree with you. I'm not saying that. That's why. Yeah. That's why we're trying to invest here, and that's why I think their investing here is good. Well, this is why I said there should. This is why I said there should be a collective. But that's, I understand what you're talking about, but I think there should be a collective coming together when people are trying to make investments in our community. And if they're trying to collectively come together to do something where I don't think they want gentrification. I've never heard anybody say that they wanted that. I think I heard him say, and I've rented in this space down here, $20 a square foot, $18 a square foot is the contracts I got. And if that's what they're willing to do, then companies like ours is looking for the right buildings to come here, you know? And I think we should do that. Invest, 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 invest. That's all I say. Keep investing.
Thank you. Ms. Zora, please sit down. Ms. Zora, please sit down. Please sit down. Let us sit down now. Okay, just hold on. He is coming to you. Hold on, hold it.
So my building is cheap. So the investment in South Dallas is being invested. Ms. Ragsdale and them is investing in South Dallas. It's being done right. So no one is not saying that we don't want investment. It has to be done right. The consideration, let's be honest, the conversations with the community started 2 months ago. Last year when I was contacted, I said, have the conversation with the community before filing this case. And it never happened. I actually, in all honesty, just be honest, when I asked that, I was hit with resistance, not from the pastor, but from the consultant, on why should they? Why would they? Who would they? And I'm very honest when it comes to that, because before I'm anything, if I stop being a commissioner today, I am a 48-year native who has nowhere else to go but South Dallas. So when I say that, it's not that the investment is not wanted. We want investment done right. You have people like Ms. Ragsdale, Eva, a couple of more. We set 5 years on a task force. This young lady right here, we set 5 years on a task force to make sure that the investment that comes to South Dallas is done right. That investment that was voted on a month ago. We did it right. It took us forever. We didn't have good times. In the middle of the night, I went through 2 degrees before we got to this point. I do not. I do not, because the conversation should have happened a year ago. But I'm also a realist. We do want an improvement here, but it has to be done right. And so if you do, they've said it multiple times. They're saying, listen. They're saying it. They've said it in this room. Ms. Ragsdale, not only a former council member, a former a city plan commissioner, a current neighborhood association president, also a development corporation who has done it right, is saying, hey, the 26 stories is almost a knot, right? An act of God. And listen, I'm a PK kid. I believe in God all the way. I pray about everything and every move I make. Saying, go back to the drawing board, bring us something that looks more feasible. This is not an acre of land. It's 0.70 of acres of land, which means we have to done right. You have to work with those who are around you. Cornerstone has been doing this. St. Philip's has been doing this. And also Forest Theater. Some of the things that they're talking about reinventing is already happening across the street at Forest Theater. It's also happening at Colonial Elementary. Martin Luther King Arts Academy. It's happening at St. Philip's. You have to work with the community who's already been here. So we're in no way, it might look like this. And the one thing you got to know about when you come to a South Dallas meeting, South Dallas is coming and they're going to tell you what they need and what they want. I want to see better. And I can't take it away from the pastor and say they don't do work. They do work in this community. They do have opportunity. They are doing helping with homeless solutions. They are doing those things. But what we're saying is there is no way that you can make this community believe that a 26-story building with condos, hotels, helicopter pads, the things that have been said, I didn't hear the pastor say it, but the consultant said it in the newspaper and WFAA, that so people can come in discreetly. Who is coming into South Dallas discreetly? Who is coming into South Dallas? Who is doing those things? the people that don't live here. So please don't be offended. We're saying go back to the drawing board. If what you come back that's feasible, that is 5 stories, then we get together and we say, hey, what does that look like? Because the recommendation could be 5 stories. By right, you can do 3 stories.
Very much, Honorable Commissioner. Yes, Ms. Zora, please.
Okay, I have a question for Diane Ragsdale. Good to see you again anyway. The question is, with the South Dallas beautification project that is going on, how far out are they planning to go with that? With this building, if it were to go 25 stories, would it take away from what they're planning to do anyway?
It's already an area plan. There's not only an area plan, the farm district that this sits in, the main players in this neighborhood who own the greatest amount of land is Cornerstone and St. Phillips. Sometime back prior, I'm going to say it has to be at least 6 years ago. Prior, our council member is in his 6th year. So it was prior to, it was during his run to become the council member. There was a plan for this area which created a farm district within PD 595 that identified this area as a walkable mixed-use neighborhood, right? And so that meant that we looked at density. And they said, well, this is what we think the density would happen. Martin Luther King is, we want to promote businesses along Martin Luther King with also density, right? The same thing, then we backdoored. For 5 years, in 2019, a South Dallas Area Plan Task Force was created so that we can identify areas in South Dallas, what that improvement looked like, from infrastructure all the way to economic development to the housing needs. In the mix of that, the reason why it took 5 years, because as we speak about the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 houses that are built grossly incompatible, we had to go back to the drawing board and say, let us put in place design standards. So all these things are happening in tandem in real time. So it's not like any other area plan. We're already en route to the changes within PD 595. We have been authorized for an authorized hearing, which hopefully in a year and a half will be in effect. So everything that we're asking, we're not saying no, right? What we're saying is go to the drawing board. What the community is saying is possibly the 5 feet, but by right you can do the 3 feet. Bring us something back and don't play it to us that we about the grocery stores and about this. You have 0.70 acres of land. Be reasonable and say, hey, this is what we're going to offer. This is what we need that. But we're going to have to be honest and quit going around in circles and prayers and this, that. None of that is going to face us. Guess what? Every single one of us is, we done prayed to God. We've all done it.
And I also wanted to say,
very much, ma'am.
I wanted to mention something that one of the guys had mentioned earlier about Pastor Raphael and his family not getting involved into the community. Well, Pastor Raphael has visited me, and I've heard him express the desire to, as well as his brother-in-law, a desire to get to know people in the community. But if anybody knows South Dallas, a lot of people in South Dallas are not very open. They're not very welcoming to newcomers, as it were. I mean, you just can't get in there. You have to know somebody. So, yes, he has been to my place along with Pastor Simon. You and Pastor Simon came, okay? So, yeah, they're very, very, very good people, and I shared a vision with him. I don't know how it's going to go forward. I don't know if they're going to need to make adjustments, but we stand behind him 100% because he's done so much in the community for people who are less privileged.
Very much. Thank you so very much. Looks like we're almost rounding up. Yeah, Pastor Raphael.
Somebody asked a question. Are you coming from outside? Do you not belong here? I'm not coming from outside. I belong here. Okay? This is where I belong. I have my residence here, and I do my business here. And my kids, all of us, we plan to be here till Christ comes. Okay? Amen?
Amen.
Yes. So one thing is certain. We have gone far better than we had last week. Okay? Now they said it's 2-story building. Now they said we can have 5-story building. Okay? Now, and I said that we're going to go to the community, like people like my brother right here now. We're going to collaborate. We're going to, the businesses and the banks, we're going to collaborate and see what we can do, because you can only speak on what you have. Okay? The land that we have right now is what we have. I'm going to go, what does engineer, what's permittable in engineering? Okay? The place we have here now is far bigger than 26-story building of Frost Towers. Okay? With all the parking. Okay? So what we have here is enough to do what we want to do. And we know the higher we go, the better the investment for the community. Okay? So, thank you so much. And we know it's been a great time well spent. Okay? Amen?
Thank you, Pastor. Is there any other questions? Okay. Ms. Shanita, want to close us out? Yes.
All right, thank you, everybody, for coming out. We have heard your voices. I'm actually recording. We will put it in writing, the responses. Also, again, July 30th. By July 30th, you will know about the next set of community meetings in the schedule. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My email, my phone number is there. If you have any questions, I'll make sure that I get back to you ASAP, okay? Thank you so much for coming out. Be safe. It is storming. It is raining. Yes, it's raining really bad, so make sure that y'all are careful going home.
Thank you, Ms. Shanita. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.